Hello, everyone. It is Tuesday, August 18th. City of Kearney Park Board is in session. Our president, Connie Crawford, is absent, so we asked Christy Mayo to run the meeting. So Christy, take it away.
Okay, it is 6:30, so we'll call the meeting to order. Have you taken roll call?
I have. Everyone is present except Connie Crawford and Tiffany Kirkland.
Okay, has everyone had a chance to review the minutes?
Yes.
This is Tiffany. I'm here.
Hi, Tiffany.
Hi.
Hey, Tiffany's here. Great. Okay.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Well, there was one thing on the minutes. Instead of, I think Bear Creek, they said Beer Creek, which would be great. Is it really called Beer, B-E-E-R?
Yes.
Is it really?
It is.
Yeah. It is.
Oh my goodness,
It
I
is.
love that. Okay, never mind. I didn't know that.
Yes.
Chris, make a motion to approve.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, who
Okay.
made the motion and who seconded?
I did. I made the motion.
Okay, who seconded?
I did. It doesn't
Okay.
matter.
Thanks, Julie.
We need a
Okay.
vote.
Yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Okay,
Do we have any public requests and petitions?
we do not for tonight,
Okay,
Christy.
so old business?
Yes, we'll talk a little bit about our youth sports. We presently have signups. The signs are around town. We have the signups going on for flag football, volleyball, and soccer. And
Soccer
at
sign
the
ups.
last meeting,
Soccer sign ups have
at the
actually.
last meeting, we talked about joining with Smithville on some of our participation, and I'll let Ryan talk about that right now. So Ryan, go ahead.
Okay, so currently, Smithville had their coaches meeting last week. We actually extended our signups for soccer to this last Monday, the 17th, and after coaches meeting, Smithville, the coaches indicated to the park director at Smithville that they are uncomfortable sending their kids over to Kearney right now. So what we ended up doing was restructuring our league a little bit, and we combined our 9-10 and 11-12U to a 5-on-5 league for soccer, and we'll have enough teams, and it'll be a fun league, and everything should be good as far as that goes.
On our flag football and volleyball, we can give you an update on right now for volleyball. It's the same as what it was pretty much last month. We have contacted the schools, we always do in previous years, for the use of the gym. And with the situation ongoing, they have they still continue to use the gymnasium for weight training, and we have not heard back from the school. And I know Ryan has contacted and emailed and actually visited with via email with Mr. Schwarzenbaugh about the gym availability, and they just don't know yet. So right now, Ryan and I have a feeling that might not happen for us this year, and that would be the first time we haven't had volleyball since about 2004, 2005. So we'll just have to wait and see what the school lets us know, and we'll keep putting a bug in their ear to let us know one way or the other. And Ryan, you can talk about location of flag football as a possibility?
Yeah,
And,
sure. So flag football, we typically have used the field behind Kearney Elementary for games. Should that for some reason become unavailable to us, we are prepared to move it out to Jesse James Park. So we have the field space. We have one soccer field that we actually don't have goals set up on, and so we would use that as our flag football field, and we'd mark it up and everything, and have all the markers and cones and all the stuff necessary for that to go.
and we would have access to the parking and the portable toilets and things of that nature to make it accommodations as seamless as possible to the different location. And that hasn't yet been decided, but it's just another backup plan that we're trying to think in advance of different things that we might have to do in case something pops up. So that's where we are on our youth sports. And if you'd like for us to, if we hear something different or continue to do something, because we know you guys are in the public a bunch. We do have, one of our park members, Dan, you're a Board of Alderman person, and you get phone calls and emails and things of that nature. So we'll try and keep at least you guys abreast as we hear things and going forward with our fall activities. So
Yeah, and
that's what we have.
Sorry, Eric. Regarding
Go
the Clay County Public Health, we are currently seeking clarification on exactly when we can start our games. According to the current recommendations they have out, we can practice, but we're going to be working with them. We're going to make another phone call tomorrow and find out, try to nail down exactly when we can start having games. So that's, a bit of a, hopefully we can get a straight answer on that, but that's kind of where we're at on that. But
there are
We don't
some
wanna do-
youth football leagues that have started playing games last Saturday in the Northland that are Clay County. So I'm not for sure if all the guidance isn't being followed by everyone. I just had some friends that posted their kids had their first youth tackle football games actually on this past Saturday.
Well, Clay County's current recommendations are basically all sports can practice, only non-contact sports can play. And that's on their website under their youth sports heading on their COVID-19 recovery page. I'm not going to comment on who's following and who's not following protocol or anything like that, but because I don't know their situations. But what I can say is that the city of Kearney has recognized Clay County Public Health as our public health officer for the city. So, we tend to follow their recommendations. And like I said, we're definitely going to try to get some clarification on exactly when we can have games.
Any other comments on our youth sports or things of that nature?
Has there been any consideration to volleyball taking place outdoors?
We did talk about that, Pastor Nick, and it would have to be sand. Naturally, we have the mud volleyball pits out at Jesse James Park, but we use at least 2 courts, and sometimes we've had when we get in a pinch, we've used 2 different gyms and have 4 games going at one time, and there just aren't that those locations where we can do that. And it's in the evening time. We don't, we start in September at 6:30, 7:30, and 8:30. And we don't have light, we just don't have
no
lights. So that's why we have, we use the gyms and same way with the practices, Nick. It's we're just in a tough situation right now, and we're going to keep contacting. We know that they all went back to work this week within the school district, and it might be able to nail down the athletic director, Dave Schwarzenbaugh, and see if they might have a different gym that they're not using, that we might be able to, if we have to go to the Old Southview, the junior high gym, it's tough for the seating arrangement in there, but it might be something that we can use there instead. So we'll
I think
try and
they're
find out
willing
as
to
much-
work with us. We just got to figure out exactly how.
Sounds good.
I don't know what that was. Okay. Park maintenance, I'll jump to the next one. We continue to mow and trim trees in the parks. We also have cut down the contract mowing in Mac Porter Park to every other week, and we are taking that over. This is the week that the contract mowers will mow that park, but we've been going over and mowing that. And in fact, sometimes we've been mowing that even when they do mow during the week, because the grass is growing so tall, and we're having a lot of teams, competitive baseball, softball teams, practicing their fall activities out at Mac Porter Park, and using that facility that we're continuing to drag the fields and do things just as every normal everyday maintenance. So this fall, once the activities pretty much cease in the parks, we're going to really get on the tree trimming along the trails and along in Mac Porter Park, be cutting a bunch of limbs. And we've already talked with Donnie, the street superintendent, public utilities, and we've got access to their wood chipper that we're going to be cutting a bunch of trees and getting all that way it's all ready for springtime, where the growth doesn't impact us on the mowers and things of that nature. So Ryan, I don't know if you have anything. Did someone jump in with a comment?
No.
Okay, Ryan, you want to add anything to that?
No, just we're doing the absolute best we can. We are down to a 3-man crew. We don't have our summer help like we normally do for mowing and everything this year. So we've been really busting it this summer to make the parks look pretty for everybody.
I will say one thing that we will be doing, as I got a phone call late this afternoon, early evening, that we talked about it last month with the new park bench that was installed for the Bob Regal Memorial Park Bench. The other park bench has just came in, so I'll be getting with that person, and we'll be also installing another park bench along the trail system in either Mac Porter Park or somewhere in Jesse James Park. So another memorial bench will be going in, and I know we talked about that last month. If you know of someone that is wishing to do that, and it doesn't have to be as a memorial right now, it can be in honor of, or just to someone, have them get in contact with us. So that park bench is being delivered tomorrow afternoon between noon and 2. So
I'd also like to add that we are totally not above doing sponsored park benches either.
okay. Anything else under park maintenance that you guys might have questions on or comments on?
Are you looking to add more benches? I mean, do you have a number in mind, like you're wanting to add benches?
We are always looking to add park benches because there are different locations along the trail that we do know that people just stop and take a little break, you know, whether they're as they're walking or running, they'll stop. One of the locations is right down at the corner curve around hole 17 area. That's one of the locations. I know Ryan and I have talked about now that we have the bridge that connects McPorter Park to Jesse James. A lot of people now are using the whole entire loop, and we don't have any benches along the trail in McPorter Park. So we can put, you know, a couple of 3 in that, that part of the trail system. And then some people have put benches along the South Campus Trail closer to the high school area. One of them was in honor of Jared Walters' son that tragically passed away. They have a park bench there. There's a couple of more benches along that trail that were in honor of someone. And then before we really started doing this, when the trail was constructed, park benches were installed at different locations along the South Campus Trail. One is located fairly close off of Glenside, just south of the drinking fountain in that area around that large pond. So there's always locations that we can put park benches next. So if you know, any of you, if you know of someone that is wanting to donate a park bench in honor or in memory of, or a sponsor, a business sponsor or something of that nature, have them get in contact with us here at City Hall. We'd love to talk with them. I don't really have anything to update you on with the dog waste stations. I do know that they were in the process of the grant extension with the Rotary Club, and I know Debbie was spearheading that project, and she's a little under the weather right now with her surgery today. So once she gets
submitted, Eric.
Go ahead, say that again. I'm sorry.
The grant has been submitted. We haven't heard back yet.
Okay.
But it has been submitted.
Okay, but they haven't heard anything back yet.
No.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. If that does get approved, we'll take that to the Board of Aldermen. And I think it's a worthwhile project. And as you guys did last month, you all voted on that, and we can strategically put those along the trail. And are they going to be, as Ryan stated, are they going to be in the exact locations for everyone? No, but it's a start, and I think it'll help the people that go out there with the pets that don't take the bags, and then we have to deal with it. So it's a step in the right direction, that's for sure. So thanks for the update on that, Dan. I appreciate that.
Okay,
I don't
we
have
have
anything else on
new
that.
business.
Yeah, Christy and other members, last night we had a follow-up to the Lions Park Master Plan to the Board of Aldermen. There were some questions at the prior Board of Aldermen meeting that they wanted addressed, and Steve Casey, Ryan, and I updated the board last night. It was approved by the Board of Aldermen to go forward with the financing or to go out for bid. Jim has some different scenarios for financing on the Lions Park renovation. And we talked with Larry Reynolds this morning, or Steve Casey did actually last night after the meeting, and then Steve gave us an update this morning right away at about 8. We visited with him on some things that were already got the ball rolling, because we have to send in all of this information that has been presented to the Board of Aldermen, to the Jeff City, to the Land and Water Conservation Fund team people, and get their approval on our overall plan. And then they will review that, send it back to us with questions or comments, and then we will be able to go out for bid. And this project's going to be a little different. There will be 3 separate contracts once this process takes place. There'll be a contract with the playground equipment, a separate contract for the splash pad, and then there'll be a separate contract with the general contractor. So saying all that, Ryan and I and Steve Casey met with the playground people this morning, Park Planet, and there was some changes that we did from the last meeting with comments, taking the balance beam walk out and adding a couple of more spring riders. I know there was a train that was mentioned. We asked them if they had a train, and they did not in a spring rider, but what they did have was some farm equipment, like a spring rider tractor. And what was the other one that we decided on, Ryan?
Yeah, we landed on a tractor and a horse, and the tractor is really cool. I thought the tractor was neat.
So those 2 pieces will take the place of that balance beam that we had talked earlier on of replacing, and that was one of Alderman Spencer's comments, that she would like to see something that goes back to our history of the town, and so we got that accomplished, which we were happy about. The second thing is we wanted to take out one of the regular bench seats on the swing set and add a 2-person swing for like a small toddler and a parent. And we saw those swings, and we wanted to add that, and we were able to add that, which was a large increase in price, but we wanted it to be a net zero, because we only have this certain amount of money and we can't go over what we already have. And so we were able to accomplish that because the tops of the playground, if you remember, those were the mesh type of coverings for shade at the top of the playgrounds. And
the big circular disc.
Right, the circular discs. They are installing the true metal, where we would have had to take down the others for the winter months because of the snow and weathering on those. And these are all-weather permanent structures at the top. So it was a net balance, and so we're really happy with that.
There's about a $1,500 difference between the two, and we were kind of amazed, honestly. So it worked out really nicely that we were able to do that and be able to afford the 2-person swing. So that's perfect.
And we will have a meeting this upcoming Friday. The time is yet to be determined, but we are meeting with the splash pad people. And we do know that time is of the essence, and that's why we had the meeting also with the playground, because there's going to be a cost increase of at least 5 to 10%. And the playground people told us that they do believe that they're going to be, with us having the meeting last night with the Board of Aldermen, to hold their prices. They might have to order it in advance, and we might have to have the Covex storage units out there to store that, but at least we won't be paying thousands and thousands more for the playground equipment once it does.
Yeah, it's going to
arrive.
cost us way less money to rent a couple Connex containers than to sustain a 10 to 20% increase on a $300,000 structure.
So that's where we are on the Lions Park renovation. Larry with Vireo and Steve are getting the bid documents, everything ready, and the plans, so we can send that information off ASAP down to Jeff City, let them get that back to us, so then we can advertise, and we have to advertise for at least 3 weeks, and a bunch of different scenarios with different with us getting grant money. We've got to follow their directive on the number of publications that we do advertise for bid, in addition to being online bid. So we'll follow their guidelines as they have set forth, so we don't jeopardize anything with our grant funding. We'll follow that book to the T. So
I have a question.
Sure.
Do we still have to come up with more money from the park board group or from the city? Or does this grant, I mean, it doesn't cover it, does it?
Last night, that's a great question, Lisa. Last night, Jim explained to the board that when it was first brought to us over 2 years ago, that they were going to raise $300,000. The Splash Pad group was going to raise $300,000. Jim, to the best of his knowledge, last night, 350.
Yeah.
Stated that he thought they had raised about 30. He doesn't know exactly how much that they do have, whether it's pledged or in the bank. So the Board of Aldermen took it upon themselves to have the funding for the $1 million and then the $250,000 grant. So basically the city is covering that so this project can get off the ground.
Okay.
That is, am I speaking correct on that, Dan?
You are. That's correct.
Yep, that's the way I understood it as well. And thank you to the Board of Aldermen.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's, if the board didn't do that, I think the project,
Yeah, it'd be dead.
it couldn't go forward how it is presented right now. So,
Hey, that's great. Thank you very much.
yep, I'm gonna make a note on that. Ryan, I'll turn that over to you for item 8, unless there's any other questions or comments on the Lions Park Master Plan. We'll keep you updated as the steps go. Go ahead,
In one
Nick.
of the last meetings, I know the bandstand there, the band shell, that was debated on it not being a circular shape, but square and maybe closed in. Has that been addressed?
Last night, Steve brought that to the board, and it was recommended by both Larry in a memo to the board and Steve that we go forward. And we think it's a good band shell. It's a half hexagon. Steve did say that he's going to check some prices, but he thinks we're too far down the road with to make it, whether it be rectangular or square or something like that. But it fits aesthetically how it is, as the playground is kind of a double circle. The splash pad is in a long oval shape, and that's in a half round hexagon, half hexagon. And we think it's going to work good for everybody that's going to be using that, whether it's the small music in the park events that are there, or weddings, or different things that it might be used for. We don't have theater in the park there anymore. And I know that was a concern that, well, what about theater in the park? Theater in the park, if Jim Lusky does that next year, he shut it down this year because of the COVID. But if he resurrects his theater in the park, that will be out at Jesse James Park. So the plans went forth as presented to not only us, but to the Board of Aldermen.
Yeah, it really didn't get solved. It was told that it was too late now to make the changes, that we had to get Piper Jeffries to get these bonds out so that we could put it for bid. And so it kind of became a compromise to not jeopardize the whole project. We went ahead and improved it with the circle bandstand like it is.
So yeah, I'm looking at the picture now. That it's circular. That's what we're going with, the circular.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Hey, Eric, are there
Yes.
places for the kids to park their bikes at the splash park?
We already, we do
You already
have,
them?
yeah, we do have a bike rack that we have taken out. The thing of it is, why we took that out, because there aren't any trails there. And they were driving through the playground areas. So that's why there was a no bike, and I think it's still there, it's faded, but there's no bikes allowed in Lions Park. But once we have the trails there, I think that's something that we will have to address as a board, especially if they're riding their bikes from downtown and want to continue to get out on the trail, because our trail systems do allow bikes. And if that's one of the connections to downtown through the park, to get on a sidewalk, to get out to the little stretch that there is no sidewalk out to Mac Porter Park, to then get on the existing trails, that's something we're going to have to talk about. And I would have no problem with it, but that's something you guys will have to decide as a board. But I don't think we allow them to get off the trail, because there's too many, well, the playground's there. We don't want them going through the playground. We don't want them, naturally the splash pad will have the fence around it, but we need to keep, if we do allow bikes in that park, we need to make sure that they stay on that trail. That's my opinion only. So.
Yeah, I think the kids were just wondering if they could ride their bikes down there, to the splash park. And
I would think that they would. Yeah, I mean, we want those kids to get down there and enjoy that splash pad and the park as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I'll write that down. Bike ride. Okay. Anything else? Ryan, you have anything you want to add?
No, I do think that's a great idea to have some bike parking in there. I don't think it's currently addressed on the master plan, but that's something that we could definitely add in later and keep to the aesthetic of the park, I think. So that's a good observation. If it's okay, I guess we'll move on to number 8. So our Oktoberfest, we, as you know, we shut down all the amphitheater stuff. Eric and I have been discussing it internally, and we do think that we can probably do an Oktoberfest this year. It might be a challenge as far as keeping people socially distanced, but it's not it's not attended to to the size of an amphitheater event. So I don't think the current 250 people limitation by Clay County would be an issue. We're talking, 50 people to 100 absolute max. It's a pretty small scale event. But the people that do attend it really love it. And I think that's one thing we can probably pull off and keep everyone safe at the same time. So we are going forward, we're going to try to look into putting that together. And Larry, I know you're on the call, so we'd like to proceed with that if possible.
Well, we have some concerns about it because a lot of those people that attend that are the at-risk people.
Right.
So,
Right.
And, for the licensing that we'll have to go through to get and everything else, we officially don't have our food permit yet, which they'd have to come out to do the inspection for us to get that. So there's some significant expense that we would have to go through that I'm not sure we'll recover.
Yeah, on a one-off event. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm glad you're here. That's a really good point.
Where does the Oktoberfest take place?
We have it under the pavilion at the amphitheater, under the big L-shaped pavilion.
Gotcha.
And that's a really good point, Larry. And like I said, I'm glad you're here. Neither of us had thought of that, the whole licensing thing. Well, we'll have to look into that a little more, I guess, because that, I very much doubt you can make it back on one day from that event.
Oh, I guarantee you we wouldn't. So maybe we can get you and Mike and Lenny and us together and talk about it.
Discuss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea. Okay. And moving on to Kids Fest. So as far as Kids Fest goes, Eric and I have been kicking it around as well. We certainly would have some hurdles with this event. Normally, it's a very, very well attended event for us, to the tune of 800 to 1,100 people. As you know, the current Clay County recommendations are 250 people. I don't really see an earthly way we can put on that event and keep 750 to 800 people out. That's a real stake in my heart because I love that event, but I just don't see how we can do it. And the monetary side of it is the city does spend about $9,000, sometimes closer to $10,000 on that event. We're still in a bit of a budget crunch at the city. That's just being realistic. Is that money best served on 250 people? Would be the next question. And gosh, I don't know. So we don't really have an answer. It's just kind of us thinking out loud on that event. But I can say right now, it doesn't look real great.
Well,
Brian, I
and
think
one
you'd
thing,
have some trouble with volunteers on that as well.
Yeah, that's a great point.
and Dan, the mechanical rides that the children get on, well, they stand in line. We don't have the manpower to make sure that the kids are all, even with the parents there, to make sure that they're all spread out. Touching, getting in and out of those mechanical rides, we can't disinfect that each and every time.
Right.
The inflatables, going up and down those big inflatables, everyone touching each and every, it's just, I think that is going to be a logistics nightmare. And the sad thing about it is that is a fun event.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite events we do.
I worked several times and it's a blast.
Right. So right now we're leaning probably not having that event. And we'll just, we've got about 2 weeks that we've got to,
really
before
nail
we'll
it
have
down.
to pull the plug on it. Yeah. Or we'll say we're going to do it.
So if anyone has any awesome ideas that might help us have that event or something, let us know, because we are pulling what little hair we have left out over over that, because it really breaks our heart. And like I said, it's I speak for Eric too. I think on it's one of our favorite events to do out of everything we do. And that's that includes the amphitheater, quite frankly.
We
Can
do know that. Go ahead.
Could we ticket the event? It's still free tickets, but you then have it split into time periods, so you give, 150 tickets or whatever for the first 2 hours. And I mean, you never would get as many kids, but at least you could get some kids.
The thing of it is, it's only 3 hours total. And it's from 2 to 5 p.m. And, I understand where you're saying, how are you going to ticket when people come out that 2 to 5 and we don't know who those people are, and well, you've got to come back in an hour and a half. Here's your ticket. We've already got 150. And
no, the tickets would be pre-sell, only they would be free. I mean, I've done events before that were free events, but you still have to have a ticket to attend them, and you get it ahead of time, and it's time stamped. You're a part of the 2 o'clock. You clear the place out, and then you let your next round through. I understand just being 3 hours, it would be harder, but I mean, you wouldn't have. People couldn't come to the gate and get in. They'd have to.
So they would they can't pick up their tickets here at City Hall because it's closed.
Online. You could do Event Spark, is that what it's called, or Eventbrite, something where you get your tickets online, and then they just show their phone, and it would be on there.
Yeah, we actually have a ticketing platform that we use for the amphitheater where I think we could do something like that possibly. That's definitely something to kick around. I mean, to look into for sure.
When do we normally have this event?
Second Saturday in October. And so, the other side of that is that's also the day of the school's big cross country meet every year. And I'm not quite sure how they're going to pull that off, to be honest, with the amount of people they have. If anyone can do it, they can. But I'm just, that's talk about a logistics nightmare.
Are they still doing it?
Yeah, Coach Roberts told us that they're going to. Right now, Christy and I and Ryan were talking prior to the meeting about this. Right now, his plan is to start the event in waves, the faster kids first. That way, you risk minimal passing of the runners and so on and so forth, as much as possible. And he said that's how they think they're going to do it. And I talked to him about, well, what about all the spectators that come out there and park and are congregating at the start line around the first turn, where they turn right there past the mud volleyball area, and then again up at this finish line up on the hill, close to the pavilion area back in those trees. So that's something they're going to have to work out. And I know they've got a lot more staff that when they do those events, they've got a bunch of staff out there anyway. And I would imagine that they'll have to have a lot of staff. And I would venture that they will really use the north parking lot at Mac Porter Park for drop off of the kids to get to the locations, instead of having a bunch of buses driving through the Jesse James Park. So as of right now, we have heard nothing different, that they are not going to have it. So we're planning as if they are. So
I like that idea on the ticketing, Tiffany. I'm going to look into it with Ticket Spicer people, and we'll see.
It's definitely not ideal, but if you could at least get 200 kids in, or 300 as opposed to none, it'd be something.
Well, I mean, ultimately, I hate for everything to be about money, but ultimately it'll be
about money.
About money, yeah. I hate that, but That's
We,
just how it is right now.
the city's in the budget crunch. There was no hiring. We're in a hiring freeze. We didn't get our mower. There's some vehicles that didn't get purchased, and it's just bare bones operation as much as we possibly can, unless you have a breakdown. Naturally, you have to get things fixed, but no new purchasing is what I'm trying to say. So,
Dan,
I don't have anything else.
Hold on, Dan was saying something. You're muted, Dan.
Oh, so
I was saying that the sales tax revenue to the city is really down due to COVID, so we're kind of limited on what we can do.
Yeah. And that's a real bummer, but it's, it's just reality right now, I guess. But that being said, we'll definitely look into it and see if there's something we can do, because we want to put on that event, but we'll see.
that's all I have until next meeting, unless you guys have something else or any board comments.
No comments?
Hey, Ryan, have you heard anybody talk about they were going to get a Christmas parade going? Is that, it's not that far away. Is that underway, or is that scrapped too?
We're going to need to look into that again. I'm glad you brought that up. I was just thinking about that not too long ago. I don't have an answer today, but I'll look into it. And I hate to keep going back to Clay County Health, but it's going to come down to Clay County Health allowing, that many people. We all know, when Kearney has a parade, everybody shows up. So, which is cool, which is awesome. And I really, really like the idea of a Christmas parade. So, we'll see. I'll get on that and I'll look into it.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
We'll visit with Kurt Hamilton, because I think they're in charge of that, if I'm not mistaken. And Rotary's a sponsor, I do believe, aren't they? Yes.
Yes, they are.
You know what we could do, and this is just spitballing, and I'm sorry if I'm rambling here, but wouldn't it be cool if we could set up some sort of live stream where people could view the parade on our YouTube channel? Like as the floats go by? I mean, it's better than nothing, right? I think I have, in my thimble full of expertise, I think I can make that work. Just an idea. Sorry.
No, that's cool.
We'll visit with Kurt on that.
Okay.
Guys, not to belabor this, but I've never been to one of those kid fests. Can you give me a quick rundown of what we do there? Because I want to think through that.
Sure. What we do is there are different groups, organizations, sometimes businesses that come out and volunteer their time or their services of their group, organization, or business. Dan Lechner has been out before and given away treats to the kids. We've had Healthy Smile Dental come out and pass out apples to the kids. The Lions Club, their staple is popcorn balls. I'm in. They give those out, and then they have some games. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints comes out, and they have games set up for the kids, and also face painting. And they did say if we do have the event this year, face painting will not happen this year because of the close proximity. So we do know that. But parents as teachers comes out, especially for those little ones, and they have just hands-on activities for the young, especially the younger ones, motor skill type things for those littler kids.
Karate studio.
Chamber of Commerce comes out and passes out the pop and the water because we don't have the manpower, Ryan and I, so they do that. The Optimus Club comes out and cooks up over 500 to 600 hot dogs and gives those away to people. We have fun services. We contract with fun services, and they have small carnival rides, actual mechanical rides that Ryan gets sick on. And we have those, cotton candy, the big tall inflatables, and it's just a fun day for kids to have basically one last fun day in the park for a few hours. So parents bring them out, and it's all free of charge.
Is the bulk of that what it cost us? Is that for the rides?
Yeah.
It is. And the cotton candy. Last year we spent right at $9,000 on that event. So, and it's they usually bring out 3 mechanical rides, the trackless train, and about 3 big inflatables and some one smaller inflatable for the toddlers. So it's 3 to 4. It just depends on the amount that we can get for the price. So, but we host that right where the Jesse James Festival has their carnival. That's the area that we put that in, that big open area, and then people park in the pond parking lot and over by the rodeo arena and walk into the event. So fun day. It's a fun day.
Yeah. I love when we do things for our families. We need to do those things. I know families are looking for things to do. So that's
absolutely.
A fantastic thing.
Yep. And it is a family event. The parents bring, and the thing of it is some of the parents bring out their kids and they're in their Halloween costumes as well. Some are, some aren't. So anyway, that's that event, Nick. It's a fun, worthwhile event. That's for sure.
Sure. Hey, real quick, you reminded me, is the dog park still a thing?
No, it's been taken off for this year.
Sure.
That's one of the things that Mayor Pogue wanted to do this year. That is, that was about at least a $36,000 fence project. How we had it figured, and that's been scrapped for this year. So that doesn't mean that's not going to happen in the future, because that's one thing that we'd like to see done. And I know Mayor Pogue wants to see that come to fruition as well.
Sure.
And we think we've got a great location out there. Nice, big, wide open area.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Any other
else?
comments? Should we have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we will see you guys next month. Okay,
Thank
All right.
you.
thank
Very
you
good.
all.
Thank
Thanks, guys.
you.
Have a great night.
Stay safe, guys.
Thanks.